What if the future of humanity isn't some far-off utopia or a chrome-plated dystopia, but something far more unsettling, something ancient and primal, hiding in plain sight? What if the next great evolutionary leap for our species isn't about flying cars or AI companions, but about a terrifying transformation that some powerful entities have been trying to suppress for centuries? Imagine a world where the very definition of what it means to be human is about to be radically reshaped, not by our own design, but by an unseen force, driven by an agenda so profound it transcends our understanding of life itself. What if every major historical upheaval, every unexplained disappearance, every whisper of ancient gods and monstrous entities has been leading us to this single, inevitable, and frankly horrifying conclusion? To truly grasp this unsettling possibility, we must peel back the layers of history, not through textbooks, but through the forgotten narratives, the marginalized theories, and the chilling coincidences that mainstream science casually dismisses. For millennia, humanity has been obsessed with its origins and its destiny. From Sumerian tablets describing divine intervention to ancient Hindu texts detailing cyclical ages and the descent of higher beings, a consistent narrative emerges. We are not alone, and our current form is but a temporary stage. But what if these higher beings weren't benevolent gods or curious aliens, but rather advanced versions of ourselves, or perhaps something entirely different, orchestrating our ascent or descent? Consider the inexplicable leaps in human development, the sudden appearance of complex language, abstract thought, and tool-making, seemingly too rapid for conventional evolutionary models. Some whisper of a seed event, a genetic alteration or environmental trigger that set us on our current path. The establishment will tell you it was merely adaptation, but what if it was a deliberate recalibration, a preparation for something far grander and more terrifying down the line? This isn't just about genetic drift, it's about a potential puppeteer pulling the strings of our evolution from the shadows, ensuring we reach a very specific preordained destination, a destination that might not be in our best interest. Now let's turn our gaze to the patterns, the subtle cracks in the facade of everyday reality that hint at a deeper conspiracy. Look at the proliferation of anomalous conditions. Synesthesia, savant syndrome, and even certain psychiatric manifestations are often viewed as disorders. But what if they are nascent manifestations of new cognitive structures, early flickerings of an emergent consciousness? Consider the increasingly documented cases of individuals exhibiting extraordinary abilities, dismissed by media as hoaxes or rare genetic quirks. We're talking about heightened sensory perception, inexplicable healing, or even subtle forms of psychokinesis, abilities that seem to defy current biological understanding. Some whistleblowers, often operating outside conventional scientific channels, have dared to suggest that governments and shadow organizations are not merely researching these phenomena, but actively suppressing information, discrediting witnesses, and even experimenting on individuals who display such traits. Why? Because the very qualities that define this next form might lie within these anomalies. The escalating evidence gets even stranger when you delve into the missing 411 phenomenon, people vanishing without a trace from national parks under circumstances that defy logic. While often attributed to accidents or wild animals, a fringe yet disturbing theory suggests a selective harvesting of individuals with specific genetic markers, those predisposed to this evolutionary jump. Who is doing the harvesting, and for what purpose? The whispers grow louder, suggesting a clandestine millennia-long project, disguised as mythology, whispered in ancient cults, and now manifesting in our modern world as a growing unease, an unsettling feeling that we are being watched, studied, and perhaps bred for a purpose we cannot yet comprehend. The real terror begins when the transformation becomes undeniable, no longer confined to isolated anomalies or easily dismissed disappearances. The signs start subtly, a global uptick in strange neurological conditions that mimic yet transcend known diseases. Individuals exhibit enhanced pattern recognition, a simultaneous assimilation of vast data streams, and an unsettling empathy that borders on telepathy. It's not just a mental shift, physical alterations follow. Their skin takes on an almost iridescent quality under certain light. Their eyes, once ordinary, now reflect a depth of understanding that chills observers to the bone. The first widespread emergence often occurs in concentrated clusters, specific geographic regions, perhaps areas with high concentrations of ancient energy or unique environmental factors. Panic erupts as society grapples with an event that challenges every scientific and philosophical paradigm. Governments, already aware of the brewing crisis due to years of covert monitoring, scramble to enact containment protocols. Quarantines are declared, travel restrictions are imposed, but it's too late. The transformation is viral, not in a pathogenic sense, but in a conceptual one, spreading through sheer proximity, mimicking shared emotions, and a collective unconscious awakening. What they discover next, what is truly revealed about these evolved humans, changes everything. They are not merely an improved version of Homo sapiens, they are a bridge to something else entirely, an entity or a collective consciousness that has patiently waited for humanity to reach a certain biological and cultural maturity. These new beings, no longer fully individualistic, serve as conduits, their every thought and action guided by a vast, incomprehensible intelligence. They possess not only advanced intellect but also a terrifying collective will, and their gaze upon humanity is not one of compassion but of detached, calculating observation, like a farmer surveying their crop. They are not us. They were never meant to be us. They are the inheritors, and we, the stepping stones. To this day, the full scope of this transformation remains shrouded in secrecy, controlled by the few who understood the ancient prophecies and genetic predispositions. What we are left with is an unsettling silence, a palpable sense of loss. We were never truly in control of our evolutionary path. Our species, it seems, was merely a vessel, a temporary form designed to facilitate the emergence of something else entirely. The implications are staggering, forcing us to reconsider not just our future but our past. Were ancient civilizations wiped out because they resisted this transformation, or because they failed to properly nurture it? Are the remnants of humanity, those who remain untransformed, living on borrowed time, or are they destined to become the subservient class in this terrifying new order? The questions linger, haunting us in the quiet hours. We are faced with the profound realization that our aspirations, our struggles, our very dreams may have all been part of a grander, more sinister design. The next form of humanity is here, and it's not what anyone expected. It's not an upgrade, it's a replacement. And in the chilling silence of its ascendancy, we can only wonder, what purpose did we truly serve?